So really what we want to do is kind of begin to start thinking about what makes reskilling and upskilling difficult and or effective across an enterprise. And so maybe you can put your thoughts in the chat or take yourself off of mute and share based on your experience. What makes this easy or difficult to do across an enterprise?
One of the things that I think is making this difficult right now is that oftentimes there's an ask to reskill or upskill, but it's not clear what job should be done after that. It's the difference between saying everyone needs to get better at AI and we need a team that can deploy AI agents to do this particular piece of work. And we know like this is what it looks like when it's done successfully. The gap between those things, just the blue field experimentation and the here's an actual practical like job we're training someone how to do, is making it very difficult to move forward on a lot of pieces right now.
There's another issue that even precedes understanding the job that you're being upskilled for, and that is the concerns people have about AI and the change management that needs to happen before learning. So, if people are think AI is evil, if they don't really understand what it is, that it's just a tool, and that if they learn to use the tools, that will actually enhance their employability.
I think it's done by different business units within the organization, and not necessarily it has not necessarily been something that's been an effort in some organizations that's centralized into some sort of central function that's looking at this and saying, well, what's our kind of reskilling, upskilling strategy across the organization? And I think maybe that's part of the reason that, kind of linking it back to a change management, and like, the first part of, you look at like the John Kotter model to leading changes, that you have to have a burning platform or a compelling reason for change. And if there's not that, if it's kind of naturally happening within the business units, it might be part of the reason that it feels to organizations like there's not this.
So the reality is that jobs and occupations, everything is going to shift. And the most important thing that has to shift is the mindset change. So even before reskilling and all of that, more than the skill, what I feel is that whole mindset thing of the way I need to think about my job, the way the what my job encompasses, everything has to change a lot.
I'm just kind of curious what others think about using this type of a framework.
I think it's great. I mean, I don't think we can always tackle 200 different competencies. And the more we can focus on the critical skills, like maybe a smaller number, less is more, it just allows people to be more effective in their training.
The only thing I would say, and again, I'm just kind of weighing in on the comments and reading a lot of the stuff that people are putting in there. I think the framework is fine. I think the challenge is understanding what needs to happen behind the scenes, right, in this framework. Like, especially when you say stretch and grow, like that to me, and then maybe I'm being a little bit too black and white about this, but that's where your upskill, reskill really belongs. And that's where the organization, and I'm talking HR and leaders, right? They need to figure out what does that mean, and what is an effective reskill, upskill strategy in that space for the people who need to move.